What, it ain't online?
We online, but my phone, make sure that we start up on here.
Oh yeah, we ain't got no signal here either. When that happened?
Just need, what you call them, yeah, we can go ahead and, stand, face Jerusalem, and open up.
Oh, clap your hands,
Oh, clap your hands.
all you people,
All you people,
shouting to God
shouting to God
with the voice of triumph.
with the voice of triumph.
For the Lord Most High
For the Lord Most High
is terrible.
is terrible.
He is a great king
He is a great king
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
He shall subdue the people
He shall subdue the people
under us,
under us,
and the nations under our feet.
and the nations under our feet.
He shall choose our inheritance
He shall choose our inheritance
for us.
for us,
The excellency of Jacob,
the excellency of Jacob,
whom he loved.
whom he loved.
God has gone up with a shout,
God has gone up with a shout,
the Lord with the sound of a trumpet.
the Lord with the sound of a trumpet.
Sing praises to God.
Sing praises to God.
Sing praises.
Sing praises.
Sing praises unto our King.
Sing praises unto our King.
Sing praises.
Sing praises.
Today's scripture reading is from Psalms 47, verses 1 through 6. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of his word. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So.
Yeah, I don't got no signal either. Must be
Yes, well, welcome everybody to the Remember Judah Bible Study Class. Everybody here, everybody watching remotely online. And I'll be the teacher, Brother Reggie, and read from me will be Brother King. And the title of today's lesson is The Talebearer. The Talebearer. We did this lesson a while back, and basically just talking about just gossip. You know, there's a lot of gossiping that goes on just around the world. You know, it's different names people call it today. You know, people just call it the shooting the breeze. You have some people, a lot of females, they call it the tea. Like, you know, I got the tea on such and such. You know, maybe they just, you know, go about something and what you have with a lot of celebrity gossip. You know, and there's a lot of these things that are online that's on YouTube, but if you really knew the scriptures or understand what the scriptures talk about, this is the kind of stuff. Celebrity gossip, tea, what they call it, this is all gossip, this is all talebearing, and the Bible speaks against this. Because for one thing, it's a spirit, it's an evil spirit that causes a lot of drama and a lot of mess. And we did this lesson, we're gonna look at some stories here, of a story here, concerning it and how this thing all plays out. But at the core of this talebearing is Satan. It is Satan that's at the core of this thing. And we're gonna look at it. We're gonna look and see what the scriptures say. Shouldn't be too long of a lesson, but we're gonna dive into it and see what the scriptures say about this. But we're gonna open this up in Leviticus chapter 19. We're gonna pick it up in verse 11. Because you got a lot of reality, that they call reality shows. And these shows really, these things might take place, but the show that they call the reality show, this is all fabricated. This is all drama. This is all fabricated drama. And the thing is making a mockery out of the people who are on there, particularly us, Israel. Yeah. And all these things are rooted off of talebearing. It's a bunch of drama, soap operas. It started with the soap operas back in the day. And some of them still on. Maybe they're not as popular as they used to be, but I remember back in the day growing up and, when I was in elementary, soap operas was, people record the soap operas. VHS tapes, my mom, she used to have VHS tapes recording the soap operas. Here I'm boxing, amateur boxing. I'm going, I done recorded, my matches. I come to look at them again as they were turning over. They recorded over my matches. I was so mad as a kid. I was mad. I was mad to record the soap operas over my boxing matches. I was like, I couldn't believe this. And people just lived and died, they just knew what Jack and Jill was doing, but don't know what the Bible is talking about. And that is a problem. We're going to look at it. Leviticus chapter 19, and we're going to pick up at verse 11. Leviticus 19 and verse 11. And when you get there, read it.
Ye should not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
I'm picking up at verse 15 to continue.
Ye should do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the persons of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
You should do no unrighteousness in judgment. Supposed to be all right to judgment. See, that's the main thing with talebearing. Because for the most part, pretty much all the part, it is unrighteous judgment. Is what it is. It's like, thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. Verse 16.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord.
Like, look, you shall not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Because we done heard people like, look, I couldn't wait to get home so I can tell you what happened.
Right.
I couldn't wait to get here so I can tell you what so-and-so did. And sometimes, look, it be some foolishness, or whatnot. But for the most part, some people, you got people who they just specialize in it. This is who they are. This ain't no one-off event when something happened. You trying to let them know, look, so-and-so got this, you might want to look out or whatnot. This is people, this is what they do.
Right.
This is what they do. That was verse 16, verse 17.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Let's go to Matthew chapter 18, and we're going to pick it up at verse 15. Matthew 18, we're going to pick it up at verse 15. Matthew 18, and we're going to pick it up at verse 15. Because this is going to be dealing with an issue concerning church folk, concerning people in the truth. Let's see what it says. Matthew 18 and 15. And when you get there, read.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his faults between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
And look, that's the right approach. But you have people like, look, I don't want to talk to him. I ain't got nothing to say to him. And a whole bunch of talebearing. You don't have nothing to say to him, but you got something to say to a whole bunch of other people about the situation. It's like, look, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he should hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But look, you like, look, I respect you for coming, and one-on-one like that. Verse 16.
But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
But if he will not hear thee, he don't respect the fact that you came to him alone to address this issue without letting anybody else get involved in it. If he won't hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. But we read earlier that it can't be no unrighteous judgment. Because see, when people do this, they go get some other people who own some drama and some foolishness, and it be 1, 2 more other people, and they instigate us.
Right.
They making the matters worse. They instigate us. They don't like the person anyway. They got some kind of agenda, so they want to buck you up because they want you to do what they always wanted to do and might be scared to do it with that. This is what be going on. He's like, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word is established because it's people that's in the truth and that the Lord is amongst them.
Right.
Not 1 or 2 more people and Satan is in the midst of it because you're going to have a mess. That was verse 16, verse 17.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican.
As somebody on the outside.
Right.
He's like, if he neglect to hear them, tell it into the church. Because you going through, that's why they let you know in 1 Corinthians chapter 6. You know, you have something against somebody, 1 Corinthians 6 and 1. How dare you have something against somebody and go to some people that's not in the truth,
Right.
versus somebody that's in the truth and be able to judge, you know, the smallest of matters or whatnot.
Right.
You know, and he's like, look, if he neglect to hear them, tell it to the church, but if he neglect to hear the church, let it be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say no name, but I came out of organization, once they came out of church, dealing with the truth or whatnot, and it was a brother, look, the brother, you couldn't tell him nothing. You couldn't tell him nothing, and it's messed up because you would think you would be able to tell a brother something. If you got something going on, you go for some kind of counsel. Nope. He gonna tell you what the scriptures say, and after that he gonna go tell so and so what you just got going, what you got going on, and foolishness. And I was like, hold up. And he started making me pay attention and scratch my head like, look, something ain't right. That's the evil spirit. That ain't right. That's talebearing. You tell him something personal. You dealing with the scriptures or whatnot. You got something. He supposed to be a counsel. You supposed to hold that to yourself. Pray for the people or whatnot.
Right.
Nope. He tell you the scriptures. He do that part right. Go tell everybody. Everybody know your business. Now you walk in there, they looking at you crazy. Everybody looking, got an opinion, got a characterization of you. I was like, man, this is crazy. And certain people didn't want to go, started coming to, some people because of that foolishness. And like I say, that's a spirit, and that's not a one-off situation. This is what certain people just do. That was verse 17. Let's go further. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 11. We're going to pick up at verse 1. Proverbs 11. We're going to be in Proverbs a good little bit here, so you might want to put a mark in one of these spots. Here, Proverbs 11. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Look, in the truth, as a teacher, you going to hear some stuff. People going to let you know what they got going on. You keep that between you and that person and the Lord. You're going to hear some stuff. In the truth, just coming out where I came from, look, I heard all kinds of stuff. People come to me about this, about that. I ain't say nothing about it. I ain't say nothing. Just pray for them, try to give them good counsel according to the scriptures. But you're going to hear some stuff. Because people, sometimes people don't really have the answers for some of the things that they're going through.
Right.
And some people are more open and ready to be healed and get some answers, no matter how personal it may be. So you hear a lot of personal stuff about relationships, about health, about lust, about all kinds of things. And you just don't go there because you know how people are, and then you have to do this thing in righteous judgment. Proverbs 11 and verse 1, and when you get there, read.
A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
Let's go to, he's like, look, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Skip down to verse 9 and continue.
An hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered.
A hypocrite, somebody who talks a good one, but don't walk a good one. A hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor. When you supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself. So this is the opposite end of this thing, what's going on. He's like, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Verse 10.
When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoices. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting.
Because they glad they gone. They the main one with all the
Right.
best and drama. Like, look, I'm so glad they gone. They left more here with just nothing but some drama. Nothing but some drama. And look, when you're head of an organization, when you're head of a church, and you know the head of the flock or whatnot, look, the church and the members can kind of take the same, you know, not necessarily personality, but the same example that you putting out there. This is what it becomes. So if the head person is doing a lot of talebearing, what you gonna see in the congregation? A bunch of talebearing. And that is what was going on. That is what was going on. That was verse 10, verse 11.
By the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. He that is void of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace.
He that is void of wisdom despises his neighbor. Now you should be building this person up, because it's gonna be a day that you're not on your game. That you falling short, that you falling weak, and by you building your neighbor up, you building them up, maybe they be like, you know what, man, I see you going through it, you down right now, you build me up. Maybe you should look at this. Because iron sharpens iron. We're gonna read that. He's like, he that is void of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. Verse 13.
A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter.
Like, look, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. A faithful spirit, a right spirit, it'll be like, look, man, you know, I got this going on. Make sure, like, whatever you do, don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you ain't gotta worry about that. Soon you hang up. Hey man, look, man, you guess what you call just told me? You know, guess what you call just what he got going on, or what she got going on. But he just told you, man, look, you can't let this get out. Don't tell nobody this. Like, oh nah, man, you gotta worry about that. Hang up. You call about 3-4 people in the span of about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Let's go to Proverbs 20. Like I said, you can put a mark in one of these sections of Proverbs, but we're going to be here back and forth. Proverbs 20, we're going to pick it up at verse 19. We're just going to read that one verse. Proverbs 20 and verse 19. Proverbs 20, and we're going to pick it up at verse 19. We're just going to read that one verse. And when you get there, read it.
He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips.
It's like, look, he that go about as a talebearer revealeth secrets.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is look like, look, so-and-so like to talk a lot. They like to talk. Look, even the people who supposed to be so-called street people in the streets, gangsters and all that, they talebearing.
Yeah.
Be out there doing crimes together. They get caught. The other people get away. They in the interrogation room telling everything on camera.
Yeah.
Telling everything. You done did all that. Maybe they killed somebody. Ain't that something? You big and bad and tough, you go kill somebody and they catch you, you tell on everything. That is something that lets you know the streets and all this stuff, it ain't even worth it. It is not worth it. Satan is not honest and he is not loyal. He is not loyal at all. He that goes about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore, meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. And the police, look, the feds, people like that, look, they gonna go at the person who they've been listening to, who they know talk a lot.
Yeah.
That's the weak link. The person that do a whole bunch of talking, know a whole bunch of knowledge about what's going on in the streets, that's who they going at first. That's who gonna help them crack the case. They know this is how it always been. Look, we come from where we come from, we know how this thing goes.
Right.
Look, we in the truth now, but we know how this thing goes. That is how it takes place. That was verse 19. Let's go further. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5. We're gonna pick up at verse 11. 1 Timothy chapter 5, we're going to pick up at verse 11. 1 Timothy 5, and we're going to pick it up at verse 11. 1 Timothy 5, verse 11. And when you get there,
But the younger widows refuse. For when they have begun to wax wanton against Christ, they will marry, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers, also as busybodies, speaking things which they are not.
He like, look, the younger widows refuse. For when they have begun to wax one against Christ, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And whether they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers, talking about gossipers, also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not, revealing secrets, shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
You know, let's see what though, verse 14.
I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan.
Now he's like, look, I will that therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house. If you get married, have some kids, you got your hands full. You got something to do.
Right.
That'll give you some business that you need to worry about versus somebody else's business. That's basically what the Bible let you know.
Right.
Bible cover all bases. Get married, have you some kids, and take care of your own house.
Right.
Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully, for some already turned aside after Satan. That was verse 15. Let's go further. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter chapter 4. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1 Peter chapter 4. We're going to pick it up at verse 14. Let us see that. 1 Peter 4, and we're going to pick it up at verse 14. And when you get there, read.
If you be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are you, for the spirit of glory and of God resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified.
Now this is interesting. See, this is looking at the other side of the coin. We talk about talebearers on their side of the coin doing this and doing that, but now we looking at the other side of the coin. The person who, the victim of the talebearer. You know, he's like, look, if ye be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of God resteth upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. So look, we gonna be reproached, we gonna be persecuted, we gonna be all these things dealing with this truth. That's just how this thing goes. And we have to keep our mind, because look, it ain't nothing like you on the other side of the coin, somebody been saying all this stuff, and most of the time the stuff is a lie.
Right.
You know, even if it ain't a lie, but most of the time the stuff is a lie. It's Satan that's all in there. You feel some sort of way, you be mad, and now, you know, Satan get a 2-for-1. Now you go still cross some lines and things like that. But look, they did these things to Jesus. They gonna do these to the servants of the Lord. So we supposed to have a steady, even keel mind and keep on going. We don't let these things worry. Because look, the saying been out a long time. Look, sticks and stone may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Right.
And look, it sounded nice, but you find out, and these words do make you feel some sort of way. You get angry, you get mad, you get mad. That was verse 14, verse 15.
But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters.
Let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody.
Right.
So you mean to tell me you can suffer as somebody gossiping and talebearing? Absolutely. That's why we read this, because it's some, you reap what you sow with this kind of stuff. It is some payback from the Lord engaging in this type of activity. And it's in the same verse of suffering as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters.
Right.
Because your matter's supposed to be regarding the Lord in his word. That's what you're supposed to be dealing with. Let's go to let's go to Proverbs chapter 18. We're going to pick it up at verse 4. Proverbs 18, we're going to pick it up at verse 4. Proverbs 18. And we're going to pick it up at verse 4. Proverbs 18, verse 4. And when you get there, read.
The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. It is not good to accept the persons of the wicked, to overthrow the righteous in judgment.
Like, look, it is not good to accept the person of the wicked, to overthrow the righteous in judgment. And that's what happens a lot of times with this talebearing. You have some people, look, they just bought some mess, and they jealous of somebody because of this over that, or some foolishness, and they gang up on the person who ain't did nothing wrong.
Right.
Ain't did nothing wrong. Verse 6 and continue.
A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes.
See that? See, this is how this thing can get out of control. A fool's lips enter into contention, get you to a big old argument, dispute, and his mouth calling for struggle. You're going to start talking. Oftentimes, people talk way more tougher with their tone than with their words,
Right.
than what they have in muscles, in hands. You know, they talk way more tougher. You know, be hot, mad, and see the anger, you know, you kind of, like that, the anger can throw you off. And they got a tapper, don't match up to it. And that's why they say, look, a fool's lip enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. Now, what kind of strokes? This is talking about a beat down.
Yeah.
Your mouth just get you in a situation, you talk crazy. I know people like that, just talk crazy, they know they gonna get beat up.
Right.
But they gonna talk crazy anyway. They just can't stop. Just can't hold back. Don't mind getting beat up however many times. Know they gonna get beat up and just gonna talk crazy. Like, look, a fool's lip enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. That was verse 6. Skip down to verse 7 and continue.
A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are a snare of his soul.
Absolutely. Look, just like at the work site. Look, the boss tells you something, they might be on something, but you apply to the job.
Right.
You might as well just go get you another job if you ain't happy there. They tell you go do this, you talk crazy. Fired. You fired. You fired. Now you gonna have to figure it out, Mr. Smart. So what you gonna do about your bills?
Right.
All these things that you got going on, now you gotta get hired over again, find another
Right,
job,
right.
get another job.
Right.
They tell you to do something, you just hot-headed, you go off on them talking crazy. You're fired. And it happens so many times, now you got a track record, now you've been in these places these short periods of time, now they looking at your resume like, hold up, this is painting a picture, this is telling a story, like, what's really going on? You ain't a good worker or something is wrong. It's painting a story of you. This is why you have to be careful with this kind of stuff. It's like, look, a fool's looking into contention and his mouth calls for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction and his lips are the snare of his soul. You got some people, they just go off or whatnot and ain't in position to go off.
Right.
You know, and mess things up.
Right.
That was verse 7, verse 8 continue.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
He's like the words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. You know, it's a wound. He's like, look, you like, look, this is my best friend. I can't believe they did that. That hurt. Like, man, that's messed up.
Right.
No, I can't even hang with them no more. No, I got decisions to make and stuff like that. He's like, they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Skip down to verse 13 and continue.
He that answereth a matter before he hear it, it is folly and a shame unto him.
Look, you just hot-headed somebody that started off telling you something. You done flipped already. You ain't heard the whole story. It's like on Family Feud. You know, they be reading the question. They heard him hit the thing. They ain't even finished reading the question. And they answer loud and wrong. Got it all wrong. You ain't heard the whole question yet.
Right.
They didn't read the whole question, and the other person, they get it right, and they heard the whole thing. It's like he that answers a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. Because you just go like, look, I wasn't even talking about that. And then you got to eat some crow and hit the reverse like, oh, my bad, I thought you was about to say this. I thought you was about to say that, my bad. You done went out, flipped out, said something, salt and all kind of stuff. That was verse 13. Skip down to verse 19. Continue.
A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle.
Because like talebearer, like the wounds, they go down to the deeper, you know, to the inner parts of the belly.
Right.
He's like a brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city. You dropping somebody off, you lending them money, all these things, looking out for them. You looking out for them way more than they looking out for you, and they got the nerve to be talking about having your back.
Right.
That takes you off. That really takes you somewhere. We done all been there. We done all been there. But this is the spirit that's just on people just in general, and these things happen. It's like a brother offended. It's harder to be one than a strong city. It's harder. It's like, look, and the contingents are like the boys of the castle. You do a better job of taking on a big city like Houston by yourself and winning everybody, millions of people there, than winning your brother over who you're offended. That's something else. That's how serious that is.
Right.
Let's go further. Let's go to Judges chapter 9, because we read it. Look, you know what I'm saying? A fool's dip into contention and his mouth called for strokes. Let's go look at a story where that actually happened. Let's go to Judges chapter 9. We're going to pick it up at verse 22. Judges 9, and we're going to pick it up at verse 22. Judges 9. Because look, the Bible touched every topic, everything that you can possibly experience in life. It covers it. Judges 9, and we're going to pick it up at verse 22. And when you get there, read.
When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech.
Now Abimelech was cold-blooded. Abimelech killed 70 of his brothers. 70 of his own brothers. You know, Abimelech was something else. So he wasn't something to be played with. He's like, when Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. Verse 24.
That the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Zerubbabel might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech, their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brother. And the men of Shechem set liars in wait for him in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all that came along that way by them, and it was told Abimelech.
Ain't that some stick-up kids way back here in Judges? This is something else. He's like, look, that the cruelty done to 70, the 70, that's what that is. He killed his own brother. He's like, the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Zerubbabel might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech, their brother. He killed his own brothers, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his. So Shechem, they aided him in killing his brothers, and now Shechem then flipped on him. This is something else. And the men of Shechem set liars and waiting for him in the top of the mountain, and they robbed all that came along the way by them, and it was told Abimelech. Verse 26.
And Gaal, the son of Ebed, came with his brother and went over to Shechem. And the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. And they went out into the fields and gathered their vineyards and trode the grapes and made merry and went into the house of their God and did eat and drink and cursed Abimelech.
Ain't that something? Look, they got drunk, they drinking, they talking crazy.
Right.
Who Abimelech think he is? You know, just going, he killed 70 of his own people. He's like, Gaal, the son of Ebed, came with his brother and went over to Shechem, and the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. And they went out to the fields and gathered their vineyards and trode the grapes and made merry and went into the house of their God and did eat and drink and cursed Abimelech. Now, Abimelech ain't nowhere around, but they just talebearing going in on him and whatnot. Verse 28 continue.
And Gaal, the son of Ebed, said, Who is Abimelech, and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is not he the son of Zerubbabel? And Zebah, his officer, served the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for why should we serve him?
Now, Abimelech ain't around. He's like, look, who is Abimelech and who is Shechem? They were some people who just killed 70 individuals. He's like, look, who is Shechem that we should serve him? Is not he the son of Zerubbabel and Zebah, his officers, served the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem? Why should we serve him? Verse 29, let's see what happened.
And would to God this people were under my hand, then will I remove Abimelech. And he said unto Abimelech, Increase thine army and come out.
Now he's saying this like he talking directly to Abimelech standing right there, but Abimelech ain't nowhere around. And would to God this people were under my hand. Like, man, I wish you was right here. Man, I'll tell you, boy, he ain't nowhere around. That's something. Then would I remove Abimelech, and he said to Abimelech, Increase thine army and come out. Now come on out of here and fight right now. The man ain't nowhere in sight. Verse 30 and continue.
And when Zebal, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gael, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled.
Now he's drunk saying this, and ain't it something? See, this is what people don't understand, talebearers and gospel. This is what they don't understand. Whatever you do, it's always a birdie, a little birdie, somewhere that hears it. It's just how Satan works. You're gonna always find out what somebody is saying.
Right.
If it don't happen tomorrow or next week, it's gonna happen. It might take some years. It's gonna happen. You're gonna find out because Satan wants you to find out. Because it's the emotion that triggers in you, and he can get a 2-for-1. Get you to go off course because he already got them going off course. And then it's a test also because it's persecution. It's persecution coming your way. And we bite the apple and go there and get mad and things like that and stuff. It's like, and when Zebal, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gael, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled.
Yeah.
So he done found out just like that. He was nowhere around. That's something else. Skip verse 31 and continue.
And he sent messengers into Abimelech privately, saying, Behold, Gael, the son of Ebed, and his brethren be come to Shechem, and behold, they fortify the city against thee. Now therefore up by night, thou and the people that is with thee, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, thou shalt rise early, and set upon the city, and behold, when he and the people that is with him come out against thee, then mayest thou do to them as thou shalt find occasion.
Look, he gonna send some messengers upon Abimelech privately, saying, Behold, Gael, the son of Ebed, his brethren become to Shechem, and behold, they fortify the city against thee. Now therefore up by night, thou and the people that is with thee, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, thou shalt rise early and set upon the city, and behold, when he and the people that is with him shall come out against thee, then mayest thou do as thou shalt find occasion. So he was talking all this, talking real threatening.
Right.
And the man wasn't there, but somebody heard it, and they took these things as a threat.
Yeah.
He was just lying full of himself and full of some liquor, but somebody heard this and took this as an actual threat. Now it's on. Now they ready to set up and on an ambush and go to war over some words that were saying just like that.
Right.
Ain't have no intention to do any of them things you were saying, but somebody heard it and they like, yeah, they talking about doing it, about
Right.
this. So now it's real. That was verse 33, verse 34.
And Abimelech rose up, and all the people that were with him by night, and they laid wait against Shechem in the four
Look,
companies.
they got a whole, they ain't just talking. They ain't just full of that little talk. They got a whole army bands. 4 Quatorians, you know what I'm saying, set up for an ambush to go to war. It's like an Abimelech rose up and all the people that were with him by night, and they laid wait against Shechem. They waited in 4 companies. Verse 35.
And Gael, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city. And Abimelech rose up, and the people that were with him from lying in wait.
So they see him coming, so they rising up to go with the ambush. To go with the ambush, like Gael, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city, and Abimelech rose up, and the people that were with him from lying in wait. Verse 36.
And when Gael saw the people, he said, Zebal, behold, there come people down from the top of the mountains. And Zebal said unto him, Thou seest the shadow of the mountains as if they were men.
Gael, look, he getting paid. He's scared now. He didn't mean none of that he really said. He didn't mean none of that stuff. It sounds like he meant it, but he didn't mean none of that stuff, but somebody heard it though. And when Gael saw the people, he said to Zebal, Behold, there come people down from the top of the mountains. And Zebal said unto him, Thou seest the shadow of the mountains as if they were men. Like, look, that's just your mind. There's a shadow of the trees on the mountain. Let's see what Gael said, verse 37.
And Gael spake again and said, See, there come people down by the middle of the land. And another company came along by the plain of Meonim.
He's like, look, there are some people on that mountain coming down by the middle of the plain, and another company is coming down. Verse 38.
Then said Zebal unto him, Where is now thy mouth, wherewith thou saidest, Who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? is not this people that thou hast despised? Go out, I pray now, and fight with them.
This is how you know these Israelites, that these are black folks. This is what Israel do, instigate stuff. Nowadays, all the way up into murder, instigate things. That's us. He's like, look. Then said Zebal unto him, where is now? I'm like, what you got to say now? You talking all that, what you got to say now? He's like, where is now thy mouth? Right. He's like, where is now thy mouth? What wilt thou say? Who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Is not this the people that thou hast despised? Go out, I pray now, and fight with them. Like he was talking all that, go out and fight. Go out and fight like a man. Let's see what happened, verse 39.
And Gael went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him, and many were overthrown and wounded, even unto the entering of the gate.
Abimelech killed 7 of his own brothers, so this wasn't nothing to him.
Right.
But if Gael went out to fight, why is Abimelech having to chase him?
Right.
Because he running. Because he done broke out and ran. He's like, Gael went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech, and Abimelech chased him.
Right.
And he fled before him, and many were overthrown and wounded, even unto the entering of the gate. Talk all that noise and run. Ain't that something? Verse 41.
And Abimelech dwelt at Arumah, and Zebal thrust out Gael and his brethren, that they should not dwell in Shechem. And it came to pass on the morrow that the people went out into the field, and they told Abimelech, and he took the people and divided them into 3 companies, and laid wait in the field, and looked, and behold, the people were come forth out of the city, and he rose up against them and smote them.
Ain't that something? He wasn't, Abimelech wasn't playing.
He wasn't.
He was after Gael and anything that was listening, that was with him, drinking and talking his foolishness. He wanted some blood. Abimelech was something else. So they wasn't done. They chased him, they caught up with him again, and ambushed him again. Verse 44.
And Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And the 2 other companies ran upon all the people that were in the fields and slew them.
Ain't that something? He's like, and the 2 other companies ran upon all the people that were in the field and slew them.
City and sold it with salt.
And Abimelech
City and sold it with salt.
And Abimelech fought against the city all that day. And he took the city and slew the people that was therein. The whole city. Now, ain't that something? This is something else. This is how this thing actually plays out too. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 16, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 27. Proverbs 16 and verse 27. Hold up. Oh yeah, that's right. I put my mark in the wrong place. Proverbs 16, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 27. Proverbs 16 and verse 27. And when you get there, read.
An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and his lips there is a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separated cheap friends.
Like, look, a froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer, talking about somebody gossiping, separated cheap friends. We seen, look, Gael whispering,
Right.
got the whole city killed.
Right.
Like separated chief friend. You have somebody, they just trying to throw a little curveball or whatnot, trying to start something.
Right.
With the intent. No, they lying, but know how this, they just know, because certain people know how to play off your reactions. That's why it's good to be humble, so they can't really call it, you know, any kind of forecast on what it is you might do. You know, had a bunch of people like, man, I just can't read you, man. Like, you'll be a good poker player. Like, yeah, that's good. You don't need to read me.
Right.
The fact that you saying you can't read me, now I gotta look at you strange, because why are you trying to read me anyway?
Right.
Why are you trying to do something like that anyway? It's like a froward man sore strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends. Verse 29 to 20.
A violent man entices his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise forward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass.
A violent man entices his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. That's what Gael did. He shut up his eyes to devise forward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. Let's go to Proverbs 26, and we're going to pick it up at verse 4. Proverbs 26, and we're going to pick it up at verse 4. Proverbs 26, and we're going to pick it up at verse 4. We're going to do it. Let's skip it. When you get there, read.
Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit.
Answer not, this is good wisdom right here.
Right.
Answer not a fool according to his folly. Because a fool is coming with some folly. Lest thou also be like unto him.
Right.
If you arguing with a fool or whatnot, and this is a fool, you supposed to be wise. You arguing with a fool, somebody come along and see you arguing, don't know neither one of y'all.
Right.
What they gonna say? Look at them fools arguing. Instead of one fool, now it's two of them, because you participate. Look at them fools over there arguing about the fight.
Right.
Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. Basically, don't participate. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. Now you done participated with this fool, with some foolishness. Now, you was talking about something yourself that made sense. But because you engaged in a foolish argument with a fool, look, they driving now. Because, you know, they're expert in foolishness. You supposed to be expert in wisdom, they're expert in foolishness. Now they done one up you. Now they, you know, what you was arguing about, you ain't even arguing about that. They changed the subject to something they more expert in, some foolishness. Now you ain't even on top of them. Now they lead the way. This is how it be going with certain art. This is how people be playing mind games and stuff like this, stuff like that with certain kind of art. And see, this is be Satan. This be deception at its finest. It's like, look, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. That was verse, I think the same stuff going on with our, we got some buffering going